Tonight in the Upper Chapel, we have new responses to the Brontës, so that's myself and Zodwinione, the playwright, and Andrew McMillan, the poet, and we're all going to be performing our new work inspired by the Brontës sisters and brother. So we'll all be performing our pieces, and then we're going to be doing a Q&A, so answering some questions about the work. And also there's a projection outside. I'm really excited because one of the songs that I've written has been turned into a little film, and it's being projected onto the front of the Upper Chapel, so this beautiful animation going across the front of the building. So lots going on tonight. It's very exciting.
For me, this project was probably the first time that I got to genuinely delve into who the Brontës were, and specifically for me, Charlotte. And you had an option to kind of choose between the siblings, but I think for me what I found a kinship with was with Charlotte and her perseverance as a writer and as a woman, and also just trying to understand the pain that she went through being the only surviving sibling. So in terms of looking at creating some material for this project, what I wanted to do was create a character, because I work in theatre, create a character who is also discovering Charlotte for the first time. And she also finds kind of a kinship with Charlotte and some of Charlotte's experiences as well. And the monologue that I'm going to be performing looks at a young girl who's in year 9, and she wants to be a writer. And over the course of the summer, her older sister passes away, and this is the first time she comes back to school since everything happened.
So I was invited to write some poems in response to Branwell Brontë, which was quite a challenge because he's kind of written out of history a little bit. People don't know much about him. He's very famous for being in a portrait but smudging himself out, and so I kind of wanted to start thinking about what it must have been like for him to grow up and then kind of have these famous sisters and kind of be surrounded by women and sisters all the time. And I grew up with sisters as well, so that was kind of my way into thinking about him, really. I always like getting commissions because I think it pushes me into writing stuff that I'd never normally write, and that's one of the big challenges of tonight, to bring, I guess, my kind of aesthetic but into someone that's really well known and who people have a lot of affection for. I'm kind of very nervous about offending any kind of Brontë aficionados, which I guess might be inevitable, but I'm hoping not to too much.
I've written 3 songs, so one for each Brontë sister, so the whole thing together is called the Liberty System, and it's looking at how they work creatively, both together as a unit, but also what was different about their individual creative approaches and what they were trying to achieve. And I've used different elements to try and describe that, so earth, air and water, to see how they interacted with each other in a kind of nature-based way.
Yeah, so this is a little extract from the first poem that I wrote, which is just called Having Sisters. Now I was trying to think about his experience of kind of being the overlooked son, I guess. Having sisters means growing up overcrowded. Having sisters means never punching someone when you're young, never getting the chance to learn the reaches of your own strength. Having sisters means having no one to confide in about the body and its changes, no one to compete with to grow the thickest heatherings of beard, which means the body becomes something you're ashamed of, something wild that must be tamed.